All right. It is Monday, December 30th, 2019 at 5:39 p.m. All right, wishing everybody who watches my channel a happy new year. I know the graphics aren't that good because the picture stretched out on the background kind of looks blurry, but wishing everybody a happy new year and I'm just going to read some articles. Let's go ahead and take a look at these articles. All right. Winter storm leaves thousands without electricity in Midwest, Northeast. Emergency declared in Massachusetts town. Wind gusts over 60 miles per hour knocked out power to tens of thousands. Fargo, North Dakota issued a rare no travel advisory. A state of emergency was declared in Otis, Massachusetts, and the bad weather has contributed to at least two deaths, officials said. High winds from the winter storm sweeping across the nation have caused tens of thousands of customers from Michigan to Ohio and across the Northeast to lose electricity on Monday. Meanwhile, officials in the towns of Otis, Massachusetts, declared a state of emergency as the system, which was named Winter Storm Gauge by the Weather Channel, downed trees and power lines. It's just not safe. Trees are falling at such a random rate, you just don't know where they're going to fall next. Otis Police Chief Daniel Hamill told Western Mass News. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I want to let our residents know this storm is not to be taken lightly. This is a serious storm and residents need to be careful, vigilant of these falling trees and the ice buildup. Blackouts hit more than 100,000 homes and businesses, according to the PowerOutage.us. More than 500,000 customers in Michigan were without electricity Monday afternoon. Steady winds began blowing between 20 and 30 miles per hour early Monday. Gusts reached 50 to 70 miles per hour from the southwest to central and northeastern Ohio, including Dayton, Columbus, and Cleveland. Downed power lines and forced the closure of State Road 56 in both directions in Madison County, according to the Ohio Department of Transportation. A portion of SR 601 was closed for about an hour before a tree and a power line in Erie County. Farther east, the storm brought ice and snow to parts of New York and New England. And you see here a picture of frozen trees with rain and frozen ice on the trees. So it's close up of ice accretion in Plainfield, Massachusetts, starting to hear tree limbs breaking in the woods. Also, by mid-morning, towns in Massachusetts reported spinouts and trees and power lines down across the roads. So cars are spinning out, trees are frozen and falling. So it's a lot of weather chaos. A falling tree knocked down power lines that caused a car fire Monday morning in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Winds gusts topping 60 miles per hour pushed waves over shoreline barriers in Duluth and Grand Marais, Minnesota, causing localized flooding, the Associated Press reported. And then hail in Connecticut. Alright, so everybody be aware of all this weather happening throughout the Midwest and the Northeast. Let's take a look at the next article. It says, I killed an evil. Parishioner who shot gunman describes attack on Texas church. Jack Wilson, a former reserve deputy, said he felt an instinct the moment the stranger walked in with his long coat, wig, and fake beard. Alright, Granbury, Texas. Despite training members of his church's security to be vigilant, Jack Wilson never expected he would have to shoot down a man, as he did during Sunday's service at the West Free Church of Christ. Wilson was hailed a hero by local law enforcement officials after stopping a gunman who killed two members of the congregation in the town of White Settlement. Deacon Anthony Tony Wallace and fellow security service member Richard White Wilson, who owns a gun range, told NBC News on Monday that he was still grappling with the death of his two friends and concerned for the close-knit congregation. I don't feel like I killed a human. I killed an evil, and that's how I'm coping with the situation, Wilson said. Excuse me. Wilson, a former reserve deputy of the Hood County Sheriff's Office, said he felt an instinct the moment the stranger walked in with his long coat, wig, and fake beard. Wilson said he walked back to the church's audio and visual room to make sure there was a camera on the man, later identified as Keith Thomas Kinnan, while White kept an eye on him from his chair in the auditorium. Kinnan got up from his place in the pew twice before approaching Wallace during communion and pulling out a shotgun. Richard did get his gun out of the holster, he said. He was, I think, able to get a shot off, but it ended up going into the wall, Wilson said. The shooter had turned and shot him and then shot Tony. Wilson, 71, said that he had his gun out and the shooter turned to the front of the auditorium, but had to wait a second to get a clear shot as members of the church reacted to the attack. The man went down and didn't get up from the head wound as the other congregation members of the security team came in. He said the congregation began training security team about 18 months ago after nearly 24 churchgoers were killed in Sutherland Springs in late 2017. And so Wilson began training members, as he does many others who come to his gun range, on targeting firearms academy. He said that the team had not been in place, the outcome of more than 200 members of the church could have been much worse. The whole time from when he stood and turned till it was over was less than 6 seconds, Wilson said of the shooter. I was watching the replays with the FBI yesterday. It's been 4 and 6 seconds from the start to finish. That is so sad that this church had to go through a shooting, but thankfully there were people prepared already in that church. Alright, next article. Hanukkah stabbing suspect charged with federal hate crimes. Grafton Thomas, 37, pleaded not guilty Sunday to 5 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of burglary. Prosecutors on Monday filed federal hate crime charges against the 37-year-old man accused of storming a Hanukkah celebration at a rabbi's home on Monday, New York, with a machete and wounding 5 people. Grafton Thomas of Greenwood Lake pleaded not guilty Sunday to 5 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of burglary on Monday. He was charged in the Southern District of New York with 5 counts of obstruction of free exercise of religious beliefs involving an attempt to kill and use a dangerous weapon and resulting in bodily injury. Thomas is accused of attacking the group observed the 7th night of Hanukkah on Saturday at the home of Rabbi Chaim L. Rottenberg, next to their synagogue. Monsey is an enclave of ultra-Orthodox Jews of about 35 miles from New York City. When Thomas barged into the rabbi's home, his face was covered with what appeared to be a scarf. According to the criminal complaint, he told the dozens gathered in the home that no one was leaving. Thomas was arrested in Harlem about 2 hours after the 10 p.m. attack. Authorities later discovered handwritten journals in Thomas' home that contained anti-Semitic writings. On one page he had drawn a Star of David and a swastika and written about Nazi culture and Adolf Hitler, according to a federal criminal complaint filed on Monday. Thomas wrote in the same journal an apparent reference to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. Some groups within the movement hold anti-Semitic beliefs, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Investigators also searched Thomas's phone, on which he had allegedly searched for "Why did Hitler hate Jews?" once in November and 3 times this month. Also in November and December, he searched for German Jewish temples and Zionist temples near me, or in specific nearby cities and towns. And on the day of the attack, he clicked an online article titled "New York City's Increased Police Presence in Jewish Neighborhoods After Possible Anti-Semitic Attacks. Here's what to know." The victims were hospitalized with wounds, including several finger slash wounds and deep lacerations. Prosecutors said at least one of the victims, who suffered a skull fracture, is in serious condition. Thomas' family said in a statement Sunday night that he has a long history of mental illnesses and hospitalizations. At this, attorney Michael H. Hussein has been instructed to seek immediate mental health evaluation for Grafton. On Monday, Sussman said during a news conference that he would describe Thomas as mentally ill. He said Thomas had been hospitalized multiple times this year and was on a variety of medications. He was close with his mother, who was concerned about his well-being and often attempted to help him. So this is another attack that's pretty sad. Somebody who has apparently clear mental issues and decided to attack a Hanukkah gathering. That's so sad that all these people were injured, and it just boggles the mind. All these attacks happening. It's just, you just pray for them, pray for the victims, pray for the people. What more can you do? Alright, next. Threat of wildfires not enough to cancel Sydney's New Year's Eve fireworks. Australian officials announced that Sydney's New Year's Eve fireworks will go ahead, despite calls for them to be cancelled due to record breaking heat and prolonged fire season. A Change.org petition has garnered more than 250,000 signatures calling for the government to give the money they spend on fireworks to farmers and firefighters, and saying there is enough smoke in the air and fireworks may traumatize some people. Preparations for the New Year's Eve celebration began 15 months ago, and it is predicted the event will generate 130 million for the New South Wales economy, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. Sydney is one of the first cities in the world that welcomes the new year, and it's safe to do so. We should continue to do so. We've done it every other year. Gladys Bergiak, Premier of New South Wales, told reporters the city will only cancel the fireworks if catastrophic conditions are declared by the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. Alright, so for New Year's, Sydney's New Year's fireworks will continue. Alright guys, hit like and subscribe for more videos, and see you next year. Love you guys. God bless.